There's a bunch of war films that follow one group of soldiers as they seek to escape a terrifying set of circumstances behind enemy lines. I think of Black Hawk Down, Fury, Saving Private Ryan, just to name a few. All of them show the horrors of war and the psychological effects it can have on its participants. So when I was sent an early screener for Valiant One, I was excited to see if it would join the ranks of those movies. And I decided not to watch a trailer for it so I can go in completely blind. Does Valiant One rise to the level of those classic war films of the past? Let's talk about it. In the heart-pounding military thriller Valiant One, a routine mission goes awry when a US Army helicopter crashes deep within the North Korean territory. Now a team of non-combatant tech specialists led by Captain Edward Brockman must navigate the hostile terrain and fend off North Korean forces as they desperately race or escort a civilian tech specialist across the treacherous, demilitarized zone. So Valiant One has a production quality of most faith-based movies or Hallmark movies that you've seen. It has this TV movie quality sheen to it that you recognize instantly. And that's not a judgment on the filmmakers. You work with the budget that you're given. It's also not a judgment on whether or not the film is enjoyable. Even with that faith-based movie sheen that gives off the impression of miracles and Teflon plot armor for its characters that's going to keep the audience trauma-free and inspired, it's anything but. People die in this movie, and there are severe consequences for characters, heroic or otherwise. I really dug that aspect of this movie because it's not all fun and games. These soldiers and the civilians in their company are trying to survive the worst situation imaginable. Being stuck behind enemy lines with limited resources, fellow soldiers injured so bad that they need to be carried through rough terrain, and an army intent on killing them before they can escape. But maybe the worst of all is some Silicon Valley dude questioning their every move and thinking he knows how to survive the situation better than they do. All of that tension is conveyed extremely well by Valiant One's cast. You can see and feel the stress in their performances. Some of the soldiers act in ways we might feel are irrational, but I'm not entirely sure that I would have performed any better in this situation. Probably would have performed way worse and gotten myself killed. In a crucial sequence in Valiant One, there's a standoff at a home of a local family that had me tense for the entire interaction. You really feel like it could have gone either way, in large part because Valiant One showed you early on that anybody can get it. Those scenes with the local family establish a very important fact. A military or a government that's considered the enemy is not emblematic of its people. Most of the time, citizens are caught up in their government's BS. It's a legit thing where people who have nothing to do with their government's decisions are often the ones who are punished. So I was really appreciative of this movie displaying North Korean citizens as not all being the enemies of United States soldiers or the United States in and of themselves. Our main character, Brockman, has a pretty well-written arc going from an unserious human being to a legitimate leader. And it's not an immediate switch, like as soon as the first sign of danger he becomes this great military mind and has it all together. No, not at all. He freezes, he needs reassurance from the real backbone of the team, which is Selby. Without Selby, this squad falls apart almost immediately. But she also isn't exempt from displaying the effects of combat situations. Selby has her own moments of struggle that help humanize that character. The humanization of these characters is by far the best aspect of this movie. Unfortunately, where Valiant One is the most disappointing is in its action scenes. The action scenes aren't exactly terrible, they're just not memorable. Well, except for one thing military action scenes should not be memorable for, which is terrible stock rap music. And bro, I'm a huge hip hop fan. I'm a rap fan. I love rap music. Like, it's the majority of what I listen to, but I can promise you it doesn't fit every situation. Especially for scenes where the tension is supposed to be at its highest. There's a few tense scenes where you get the feeling that someone might get shot or die, but the stock video game rap music wants you to dance. It simply doesn't fit, and it took me out of it. Overall, I think it's a solid watch, not something that will make anyone's top 10 best movies of the year, nor will it make anyone's top 10 worst movies of this year, well, at least not mine. It'll be somewhere stuck in the top 10s. It's a movie that I happened to see one time. So have you seen Valiant One or are planning on seeing it? Let me know in the comments and I'll talk to you guys next time.